after the last one disappeared. Isn't that interesting, Kitty?
I don't know what you're talking about, Daddy.
Let's check out these new wigs. They literally had a picture of Sam Elliott under this one on Amazon. Maybe this could be future Boon. Cats will have a good time destroying that one. I don't know what this is, but I like it. It's different. It's like a Russell brand, or I don't know what I'm going to use them for yet, but I'm just back to my ugly mug. Okay. Do it. Can't let anyone enjoy this song for more than 8 seconds. Who are these psychopaths watching an hours-long video for the primary purpose of hearing 9 to 20 seconds of a song? Hello, everyone. How are you, X-Derek?
Good, and you?
I am doing well. Well, Rabbi, well. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday night. We are going to go through some of the Sarah Boone motions that I did the pre-recorded video on, which was its own special nightmare, but it actually did pretty well. So I think, yeah, I'll keep doing more of those pre-recorded stuffs, but I just want to show you something here, X-Derek. So remember I talk about amount of work that goes into a video versus time. So this is a snapshot of the project, right? For that, however long it is, 50-minute video.
Crap.
And I had it all in the original timeline, and I was rendering it out, and the last 5 minutes were muted because I had it on the wrong track. And so then I re-rendered it, and it was taking forever because I have all the effects on it. And then I hadn't moved it to the right. The other track I moved it to was muted. So I was just sitting there waiting for 9 a.m. Like, oh, God, finish. Hello, Sharon Touch, Route Irish, Polynomial Purebred. Justice Smith was here earlier. Suma mentioned she might be here, but we'll see if she pops in or not. She had to get ready or something. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know if you saw the pre-recorded video. If you did, that's fine. If you didn't, that's fine.
I did not watch all of it. I started watching it.
Oh, thanks.
Hey, I was going to watch it all, and then we were thinking about doing this. So I'm like, why finish it?
Insta Justice, True Crime and Trials. Good evening. So, yeah, I realized afterwards I did a lot more commentary than I could because I was trying to keep it below an hour. And I didn't really say anything much about her GAL motion, which had a lot of stuff in it. So I figured that's when we'd start with. Is that what you want to start with?
I thought that's what we were going with.
Yeah, let's start with the GAL motion. So anyone who doesn't know, GAL is guardian ad litem. And I explained to somebody in the comments, GAL is basically hired as the child's advocate by the court. They're independent of both parties. It's not the same as CPS, Child Protective Services, where there's you have to check on living conditions or whatever. This is more nuanced of like, hey, are you Oh, there's Suma. Hello.
Hi. Sorry, it took me a while because I had to download Chrome and.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she got a MacBook Air, X-Derek.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Just coming up in the world.
Yeah, except I forget that I hate Mac, but I hate everything. So, what did I miss?
Nothing. We just I was explaining what a GAL was for those who didn't know. So you're basically supposed to pay attention to the interactions of, it's really useful in a dispute when there's accusations going back and forth, and especially when there's one toxic parent that is trying to poison the relationship of the other. And the GAL is supposed to take note of that and then make recommendations like, hey, I think the interaction between this parent and this child should be supervised for X number of months, and we revisit, right? And then the thing is, though, they're not cheap. It's like $2,500, I think, usually, or something for just the first portion of it. This? I watch a lot of court.
None of my business. Go on.
So the fact that Sarah is asking for a GAL is is funny because she would most definitely be identified for Brian, because she's convinced that Brian is talking bad about. That's the reason Lucas hates Sarah, is because of Brian. Which I've gone further into the messages. She gets even worse.
Yeah, I know you don't think it's possible, but also she thinks that everything she's doing, everyone else is doing. That's why she doesn't trust anyone, but it's so bizarre. Hi, Derek.
Hey, Suma. Yeah, last week when we were listening to it, you could tell she's really breaking. Like, she's getting more and more unhinged, which is...
I don't know. I wonder.
Crazy.
I think that's how she gets when she doesn't get her way.
So...
But maybe you're probably
well,
right.
no, there is a term that I've come across. It's called narcissistic collapse. And that is basically you're a narcissist, right? And you're no longer able to avoid you have no control anymore. And your entire worldview is crumbling around you and you basically go insane. And that very much is probably what Sarah is going through. Let me look up the definition again. I had it under here. Narcissistic collapse. Let's see here. Is what happens when the fantasy the narcissist has built around themselves finally shatters and they can't handle the truth. Which sounds exactly what Sarah is going through, right? So the key features of narcissistic collapse are a triggering event, which is either public humiliation, failure, rejection, or being exposed as inadequate. I think Sarah could hit all those.
All of them.
Loss of a narcissistic supply, which is attention, praise, control. So she lost control over George. She has no more attention that she's able to force anyone to give her. The emotional fallout is rage, despair, paranoia, or withdrawal. So withdrawal is not in Sarah's wheelhouse. May spiral into depression, anxiety, or even self-destructive behavior. Lots of self-destructive behavior. Sometimes appears as a sudden emotional numbness or complete shutdown. No, that's not her. Behavioral response, rage, lashing out at others to regain control or superiority. That is 100% what we're seeing in the texts. Denial, blaming others or rewriting events to preserve ego. 100% seeing that. And manipulation, desperately trying to restore the previous image or reassert control. What is she always saying? Nobody knows me. Nobody knows me. They just need to get my truth out there. So it is 100% describing what Sarah is going through. But no, she doesn't want to pay for it. She wants the free one. So we'll instead of listing all the way through, we'll pause.
Can you get a free one of these?
No.
Okay. Just what am I doing?
I mean, maybe, but I've never seen one. It's always split. And then it's the same thing as child support. Like if you don't pay the GAL, you can get held in contempt and go to jail over it.
But how is she going to pay for it?
Well, she wants a free one or low cost one so that, Brian can cover it. This motion was denied, by the way. So just that's a spoiler alert.
Respondent's motion for court appointment of guardian ad litem to preserve and protect her parental rights comes now. Pro se respondent.
Which it's not meant to protect your parental rights. It's meant to protect the child from abuse, specifically emotional abuse. And we're going to play a little bit of music in the background to make this more pleasant. Can you hear it?
I hear it. Very low.
Sometimes the snow comes down in June.
I didn't hear it that well.
Sarah K. Boone respectfully moves this honorable court for the appointment of a guardian ad litem pursuant to Florida statutes 61.40161-.405, and as grounds therefore states the following. 1. This is a family law matter involving parental responsibility, time sharing, and other issues affecting the minor child between the respondent and petitioner. 2. due to the inappropriate allegations and repeated ongoing slander made by the petitioner regarding the surrounding circumstances of the respondent.
So this one, I had a whole commentary on it, and for some reason I cut it. So what could this possibly be? Slander? It's not slander if it's true, Sarah.
Is it that the whole murderer thing?
Yeah, and it's not slander. It's true that you're a murderer.
Mm-hmm.
In the surrounding circumstances of the respondent, what? You're spending the rest of your life in prison? You're never getting out? You're not going to have a relationship?
I don't think she understands that being found guilty in a court of law means it's not hearsay or slander. Or, you're still innocent. You've been proven guilty. Like, that's it now.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's only you can't. It's not you can't just tell somebody, oh, you're slandering me. I can have my own opinions. It's First Amendment, free speech.
Only she has free speech.
And due to the inappropriate what are allegations at this point? That she could only possibly mean, yeah, don't worry, mom. Well, it's probably mom wants our money, so we got to save up. I don't know if I can get that new bike for you. And I don't know what else she could be referring to.
You're giving her way too much. I mean, I do this too, but you're thinking about it too much, because she doesn't even know what she's talking. She doesn't know what she means.
I would love to be there. Let's say this was granted and the GAL's there, and then Sarah's listening, and Brian's talking to their son and be like, yeah, your mom's a murderer and she's going to be in prison forever. And Sarah's like, see what he just said? I was like, well, you're in prison though, right?
All those things were proven to be true.
And everyone at school told him that before Brian told him.
Yeah. Yep.
But that's just ignorance. It's so ignorant.
I mean, this is a woman who wrote many letters to the judge, including one that was 58 pages. And after writing that letter, she said she's never had an opportunity to explain herself.
Yeah, I got to the part of the messages where they're behind the scenes while Cashman is already withdrawn, and she's telling Lana or what?
Bitch ass Cashman.
Yeah, bitch ass Cashman, where she's telling Lana like, I'm gonna file to get rid of her, and like she's already withdrawn. It's like a week and a half, 10 days later. Like she's no longer the attorney anyway. She's like, no one can treat me like this.
Yeah, she's. When Judge Kranick came on, she wrote him a letter being like, oh, I'm so happy to have you, and she was like, I was already writing the senator or someone about Judge Wooten to have him taking off, as if she's running the whole country, like as if.
Well, we should only be so lucky to have Sarah ruling over us all.
Yeah. You know what? It wouldn't be that much worse than what we got now.
And I did, not to tangent. I did find out some more information reading the text. So that she keeps mentioning Jim. Wait, get Jim's number about my car. Jim is the neighbor.
Oh, I was thinking Jack. Jack is Owens, right?
James Owens.
Right.
But she's always asking Brian, hey, give me Jim's number if you're not going to call him, right?
Oh.
Jim is the neighbor. And so she thinks her car has been sitting in the parking lot of the apartment for 5 years. Even if it hadn't been towed, she obviously doesn't understand how things deteriorate in the weather. Let me just give everyone out there a hint. If you ever have a car that you're not going to drive
especially
for a substantial period of time, put a space heater in it, run a little extension cord out there, put a little $10 space heater in it, throw a little tarp over it if you can. If you can't, but put that space heater. If you run the space heater in there through the winter, as soon as you open it up, it'll be like you never stop driving it. A $10 space heater will save everything. So that's my tip of the day for everyone.
That's interesting. Except for they don't have winter there, really.
Well, it's the moisture. It's the moisture that.
Oh,
that
yeah.
builds up.
Hey, just.
Sorry, that was my PSA.
No, I get it.
We do it with the boat. We have a 2000 Bayliner, and the thing looks great. 25 years on, because my dad has put a space heater in it every winter.
That makes sense. I always use those silicone beads. I don't have a car or a boat, but I have a dishwasher, you know.
Okay. Yep. Same thing.
Yeah, kind of. It's a luxury item.
All right. We'll keep her going.
She
Here.
believes it is vital to her preservation ability of her invaluable parental rights and the protection.
Forgiveness is invaluable. Parental rights are invaluable. We need to start keeping up a list of all the invaluable items Sarah lists off, which also coincidentally are things that don't cost any money and that she doesn't really have. She doesn't really give anyone forgiveness. She doesn't really have any parental rights anymore, but they're invaluable.
As are her heirlooms, family heirlooms.
Yes, that's right. Invaluable family heirlooms.
Of their minor child's best interest to be clearly represented in this matter between his mother and self. To
Yeah, they
request
need to man
necessary appointment of a neutral, professionally trained, independent guardian ad litem to ensure the proper success of the aforementioned for all parties, primarily and foremost, the minor child. The respondent is concerned the child's emotional and mental welfare may be heavily impacted by the legal proceedings of this unequally leveled family case.
What about your news coverage, Sarah?
And a guardian ad litem will provide an objective, third-party assessment of the child's situation, aid in the instability of his understanding of freedom to be himself.
That's another. Oh, go ahead. What did you say?
What's the date on this?
She wrote this on the 19th, so like 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
And then presented at the last hearing on the 29th.
Can we go see this? Just
That's what I said last week.
HearMeowt
I'm going to the trial. I'm going to the trial.
can we go to can you go to family court and watch that? Or
Yeah. Sorry, my wife's texting me.
it's okay. I don't know. My best friend loves your channel, as I've told you. And if she's watching now, she's probably looking up flights to Florida.
Yeah, Tanika, I've been emailing with her. She's going to go. So
She is going to go. I wasn't
Yep.
sure about, how she was going to be feeling.
But I think she's going to go. I would buy the ticket now. The only hesitation I have is if there's some kind of continuance that happens the next month or so. Because,
Yeah, we can't be too sure.
it's not a cheap
Last
ticket.
minute is good. I don't know. Yeah.
I'll probably wear the wig. It'll be great.
Oh, you
Probably
have to wait.
must. You must. I actually
I don't
thought,
want to get kicked out.
why would you get kicked out?
I don't
It's
know.
big.
Obviously, you're a family member.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't you tell?
Runs in the family.
I'm her long lost brother.
Hmm. I don't think her brother's showing up to anything.
Yeah. Oh no.
Have you guys been, the text
Answer
between her and him? And go on.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They get no better, especially regarding the bond.
Nothing
That's the
gets
next part I got to record.
His questions, provide a voice in his request to be in his mother's life, to unburden himself for clarity in his relationship with both parents futuristically. 4. A guardian ad litem is empowered under Florida law to investigate the facts of the case, interview the child, parties, and other relevant individuals, and submit a report to the court with findings and recommendations to all positive, healthy, future arrangements that are in the child's best interest, including relational preservation with the parents.
I don't see how a guardian ad litem would say forcing a minor child to engage with a incarcerated parent would be positive. Right? I don't like. I'm not a child psychologist or anything, but just reading some of those messages, you'd automatically disqualify yourself at that
That's
point.
what I would think. That's what I'm curious to see, because it's my feeling, my theory. Again, just
Not
my
professionally
opinion.
trained. No one on this show is professionally
Yeah,
trained.
no one
in
on
this.
this show knows anything. I'm speaking for myself, at least. But I cannot imagine a court giving this woman any rights to anything. Certainly not her child.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't want to spoil it. Derek, one of the following messages or one of the future messages she sends to her son is she's having an argument with him over, I think it's Easter, that they didn't do an Easter visit or something, or what is it? Or a card, some kind of card. And then she finds out he lied, and he tells her, yeah, it was just easier to lie to you than send it.
Yeah. I mean, well, we're being honest, since you want honesty.
And she says in her message, I told you to F off, and hung up. To her son.
To her son?
Yes. Yeah. And then after Easter, she sends another message. She gives the story of doubting Thomas, and at the end goes, I'm paraphrasing, something like, Jesus died for your sins so you wouldn't have to act so selfish, neglectful, hurtful. Like, and then he didn't make, it's like the worst juxtaposition. Like, why would you do that? What benefit do you have here? What do you hope? Are you trying to make him hate you?
Yeah, well, it's like you were saying, but both of you were saying last time that we were reading, that I was on and we were reading this. It's like, why would he want to contact you if this is how you act when he contacts you?
And you put it in right. You gave electronic proof for the GAL. The GAL doesn't even need to be signed. And then, yeah, she does kind of compare herself with Jesus. She's like, Jesus did this or went through it just like I am.
Oh, yeah, her martyrdom. Yeah, she's got to.
Yeah.
5. While the guardian ad litem may consider the wishes of the minor child when appropriate, the primary duty is to assess and report what is in the child's overall best interests, based on all circumstances, possibilities, and efforts made by the parents.
So you see what she did there? She hedged her bets. Up top, well, you should listen to Lucas when he says he wants to be in his mother's life. But in case he doesn't say that, right? Right. We can go ahead and ignore his own personal opinions and do what's best for the parents.
Right. If he wants to be in my life, then you should listen to him. But if he doesn't, fuck him and do what I say.
All right, we've got a super chat.
Wow, that's some sound effect.
It's the Predator.
You picked Predator for the super chat?
Yeah, for now. I mean, I don't know. What else we got? Record scratch? She is revolting. Jody the Pody from New Zealand, $5. Thank you very much.
She is, Jody.
I have to confess, sometimes I misread your name to Jetto the Pedo.
Oh, I thought it was Joe the Pode.
Joe the Pote, right. But if you just switch the O's and the E's, Jetto the Pedo.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. Reborn naturally. Okay.
That's how he thanks you for the super chat.
Pretend judge. Sarah Boone was born with the Lord Farquaad haircut.
Yes. Hi, pretend judge.
What's Lord Farquaad?
From Shrek?
Yeah.
I never saw it.
Yeah. It's, that's what it sounds like. It's like Sir Lancelot.
It looks like that. It really does.
Yeah. I picture his a little, but yeah, it's very fashionable.
Okay, you want a better son? There. Polynomial purebred, $5. Which gospel has the part where Jesus puts his lover in some Samson's side after taking a bat to them? I think
Leviticus.
It's in John.
Oh, no, Leviticus.
John.
Oh,
Right.
a gospel. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
so I grew up. I'm just kidding, Jode. Don't worry. I'm just saying, if you flip the letters, it's
Don't listen
funny.
to him.
Especially with the Lorne content. But I in theological studies, it's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It's because Matthew was written first. Mark is the most like Matthew. Luke is the most like the two of them, and then John is on its own. So if this is in there, it's got to be in John, right? Does you agree, Eric?
No, I say Matthew.
Oh, okay. All right. And none of the other ones mention it? Well, I
Sarah
think
won't
that'd be
know.
an outlier.
I could see it maybe popping up in Luke, maybe.
Okay. All right.
6. The respondent believes this appointment will be extremely beneficial, fair, and just for the court and all included parties. 7.
Just for the court. That doesn't make any sense. The court doesn't need justice. It's more. Okay. Another super chat here. What is this? There we go. Google Lord Farquaad later. You'll understand.
You will.
Yeah.
Okay, I will.
The respondent graciously requests that the court determine if a
remember,
pro
easy
bono or low-cost guardian ad litem may be appointed in this case based on the known and unconcluded financial circumstances of the respondent.
So she wants low cost or free.
Even low cost, how would she pay for it?
Well, Brian would have to pay for it. But Brian would pay for it. She'd owe him for her half.
Which she
Right.
will never pay, or best case scenario, Brian pays himself.
Yeah.
And understand her determination in showing ceaseless good faith efforts to be permanently included and unremoved in the life of her child.
More stuff that just has no meaning. Her ceaseless determination or good faith efforts. She puts all this value into her own actions, right? She values it very highly. There's nothing that she does that is of low value.
She's the best at
I
everything.
should have let this keep going.
Regardless of the location, time, or any other possible circumstances.
Like, Sarah, you literally are removed location-wise. You did that to yourself. You did it to yourself by not taking the plea deal as well. You could maybe make this argument better if you had taken the plea deal. Be like, look, I want to pay for my crimes, get out of here, but I don't want to have no relationship when I get out, right? I don't want my son to be a stranger. You would have a much better argument in that situation, but you're never getting out. So
But
what
she
is the
didn't
point?
give a crap about her son during that.
No.
Wherefore, the pro se respondent, Sarah Boone, respectfully requests from this honorable court, A. Grant this motion for an appointment of a guardian ad litem by the court to preserve and protect her invaluable parental rights. E. Appoint a qualified, neutral party, guardian ad litem pursuant to Florida Statute 61.40161.405 to justly represent the best interest of the minor child.
And do you think she would accept if the GAL came back and said, yeah, there doesn't need to be any relationship with the mother?
Well, she has no choice, no?
Well, I mean, do you think she would say, oh, okay, I guess I am a bad person?
No, she wouldn't.
No.
Because, I mean, I was just thinking, actually, for years she's been, when Brian moved with his son, they relocated. She completely lost her mind, especially because she was extra angry because Brian said to her, well, we'll be closer to the prison that you're going to so we can visit you. And she was like, I'm not going to prison. So pissed off. And now that he turned out to be right, because you remember the whole crystal ball and soothsaying thing she kept carrying on about? Well, it turns out that Brian's a pretty good soothsayer along with everyone else. And she never mentioned that again. She's still, it's like she completely moves on. She doesn't know when anyone is right and she's wrong. She doesn't learn anything. It's amazing. She'll start writing letters to everyone. I don't know what she'll do if he says no, but
It's slang, pretend judge. We're bros.
you figure out the rest.
What is Nan bro?
I don't know. Is that some new?
Nancy Brophy.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Well, I already watched it, so I mean, I was able to do both.
Do what?
What?
I didn't see that message. Oh, I started at the same.
Bloodbath was asking, started at the same time as Nanbro video dropped. Wait, did you do a third one?
Yeah, no. It dropped earlier, but she probably just saw it.
Okay.
C.
High blood
Order
pressure.
the Guardian ad litem.
We are not homos.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought too. But I mean, nothing wrong with being a homo.
I guess I'll just have to clear
Plus,
it
on
up.
top of it, you made the theme song as the theme video as gay as possible.
I
I
thought it was pretty
Derek's
ambiguous.
going with it, like though. You know, he's like, whatever.
All right, should we change it to Bromigos officially? We go. Is that better?
I mean, it's all good. I was listening to reggaeton the other day on my iPhone, like my music, and they interjected this in the middle. I was like, I know this, but this isn't on this playlist. I didn't think, and then it was you guys. It was the Bromigos. I was like, oh, that's funny.
Now, Derek and I are both heterosexual, happily married men that have never met in real life.
Well, I mean, Lorne has never met a lot of his girlfriends in real life.
That's
They're
true.
still very much in love.
I guess. If anyone can tell what the music in the background
Conduct
is,
an independent
I guess
investigation.
when this week's
Consider the child's preferences
quiz.
when appropriate, and submit a written report to the court for application in this family law case. D. Allocate or waive the cost of the guardian ad litem as justice and equity require, and E. Grant such other and future relief as the court deems just and proper. Respectfully submitted this 14th day of May, 2025. Sarah Boone, pro se, responded.
blah, 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 blah.
So did you find out why she's handwriting now?
No,
Or did you hear?
I don't know why she hand wrote two of them.
So I think she had someone on the other side in the free world doing it for her, but I guess they, stopped or couldn't, or I don't know if it was the guy from that company that's supposed to be doing that, like the production company that's supposed to be doing some documentary of hers, or I don't think he's gonna last.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
See, I figured, yeah, the typed ones. I was wondering, like, did somebody else write these for her?
Yeah, I think so. That's what I believe Tanika said. I haven't been really keeping up closely enough with all these, but that's what I think I heard.
And I mean, there's so many typos in it. That's the other reason I don't feel like it is her writing it, because she would have stamped those out usually. Well, I mean, it's not her usual bad grammar. It's like literal typos.
No, it's true, but I'm not sure she proofreads all that much. But you're probably right, and I don't know.
She would. I think she's the kind of person that would at least hit the spell check button.
Oh no, what does she need the spell check button for?
Because she doesn't want anyone.
She never makes mistakes. Like, that's ridiculous, as she would spell and say. Spell.
I'm slow and take things too literally. I love the Bromigos thing. I mean, nah, for Bromigos now. Well, luckily, it only happens one time a year. Malik Washington, is that
I thought the same thing, pretend judge. I didn't think
Malik,
that.
why Malik Washington now?
Wait, is it Malik Washington, the TCAP predator, or
Yeah.
Malik Washington, the Miami Dolphins wide receiver?
No, not that Malik
Or
Washington.
punt returner.
Malik Washington, the TCAP.
Poor Malik Washington. He gets all the way to the NFL as the kick returner for the Dolphins,
And he's known
and he's
as a
got
predator.
this idiot out there on TCAP, and everyone's like, "What? Are you in the NFL?
Can you give me a ride back home?
Can you be right back home?" Okay, let's go to the motion to understand.
Motion for court to understand respondent's predicament regarding her financial affidavit and accept handwritten document being mailed in the meantime of actual receipt formally.
Well, Sarah, we already know that the court receives all your handwritten shit. So I don't understand. I really don't understand how she failed to get this form. You can Google it and get it in like 2 seconds. And it doesn't make sense. So this actually, remember we had the question of the stamps last week or the week before?
Yes. Yeah.
Remember, see in the corner here, it says provided to Lowell Correction Work by SKB for mailing. So she doesn't need her own stamps.
Oh, yeah.
She just hands them over. They send them in. Okay, we're really getting confused. X Derek is a character in the Lorne verse.
Yeah. My name is as a character.
X Derek is the love rival of Lorne.
I did
during
figure
the
that out.
TCAP sting. Who's Derek? Oh, where's Derek? He's in the middle.
I'm right here.
Anyway.
Comes now. Pro se respondent Sarah Boone and respectfully request that this honorable court understand her predicament of being incarcerated and the extreme difficulties contained therein, as she has made the court aware previously in other motions for this or financial affidavit being submitted to the court as ordered. Until the respondent has the ability to formally and properly submit this document, she is asking for the court's understanding and submits the following information for application of: the respondent, 1, has no access or ability to print this document. In hopes of doing so, she has made the following communication and attempts with A, the DOC officers of her housing dorm, B, the DOC supervisors of her unit as a whole, C, her DOC classification officers, 2, D, the warden of the DOC compound overall, E, clerks in the DOC law library, F, the manager of the DOC law library. 2, respondent sent a handwritten letter to the clerk of courts requesting this family law document on April 11th, 2025 with no response or form to date. 3, outside resources on respondent's behalf sent an email to the clerk of courts for this also with no response. Another email was sent May 12th, 2025. 4, as recorded in a previous motion by respondent for court-appointed counsel, which was denied, no paperwork can be received by an inmate except for an attorney or the court directly. She has multiple third-party resources who are able to print/send to her, but is restricted by DOC to receive and in which counsel could send on her behalf, which she does not have. 5, respondent's delay in sending this motion for awareness is due to time lag response by all aforementioned parties she has contacted to complete the court's order for this document. She is still waiting for responses, but wanted to show a good faith effort in updating the court. The respondent's handwritten financial affidavit document information is being mailed on Monday, May 19th, 2025, via legal mail. Wherefore, respondent has exhausted her means of production of this actual and physical document as ordered for her family law case, and respectfully requests that this honorable court understand her predicament in not receiving and accept her handwritten document via USPS containing the information to be used and reviewed as necessary and by whom needed. Once the respondent has the ability to print, complete, and send the physical document, she will do so immediately. She is also still waiting to receive a response from the clerk's office and/or this financial affidavit form in the mail to forward to the court upon expedited completion. Respectfully submitted this 19th day of May, 2025. Sarah Boone.
So since you didn't watch the video, X Derek, we'll just go. I didn't have her read her financial affidavit. I just kind of went through it. So, should we just watch that part now? Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, whatever you want.
I'll read that because it's particularly boring. I will just note a couple items I found interesting. She says check here if unemployed and explain on a separate sheet your efforts to find employment. Reason: I am currently incarcerated. I have a job, but am not paid monetarily to receive a paycheck. Okay. Under income, she put zeros everywhere except for 9, unknown, under monthly alimony actually received. From this case, unknown to be determined. And then monthly deductions. This is where her stupid starts to shine again. She puts unknown monthly court-ordered alimony actually paid. Sarah, you aren't paying anyone alimony. You are trying to get alimony from Brian. So you wouldn't have an alimony deduction for yourself. This isn't the only place where she gets this kind of confused, the difference between sections. If we go down to assets, she lists automobiles, 2011 Kia Sorento, $8,000. Now that is very, very optimistic. Kelly Blue Book says the resale value, not trade-in, resale value is under $5,000 for a 2011 Kia Sorento. But of course, we're talking about Sarah here. She probably has the best 2011 Kia Sorento ever.
True.
And was the best car owner ever, kept it immaculate. Other personal property, storage unit, $10,000. I'm going to go ahead and guess $500 worth of scrap in there. She checks petitioner and respondent. When clearly it says up here what you want awarded to yourself, awarded to you. So why is she checking petitioner up here and then respondent down here? Is maybe because she's thinking, well, he has them now, but I want them. Okay, we'll go with that. Maybe this is just because I'm an accountant, but assets and liabilities are opposite, right? You have up here maybe a automobile, which is an asset, and then if you have a car loan, that's a liability. Same thing with a house is an asset, and a mortgage is a liability. Real quick, I mean, this is a commonly known thing, right? It's not just because I'm an accountant. I don't know.
I was gonna say this is boiling your accountant's blood, isn't it?
Well, that's why I have to be like, is it something just I know, or is it like, you know, like it might not be common knowledge. Maybe it's not.
I didn't know you were an accountant.
Oh yeah, I'm an accountant.
Okay, that's very glamorous.
I'm an accounting. I'm a contractor, as Sarah says in her other letter. You know, Brian really has a real job now. He's now no longer contracting. Well, sorry, Sarah.
Yeah.
I think my job is actually pretty real.
She is so nasty. There was a text that I heard recently about, she was texting with Lana and she was talking about James Owens, who stepped up and basically destroyed his whole life to try to deal with her. And she's talking about him like she's making fun of what he wears and how he's trying to use her for fame. There's something about her particular brand of.
Really? She said that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Her particular brand of nasty. It is so cutting. She's so sadistic. She's so nasty. It's always shocks me. That's all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off.
No, please do.
Whoops. I didn't mean to play that. I guess you got some Simon Garfunkel. Music for pretend judge, $5. I don't know the tech, but your tone makes Boone voice overpricelessly perfect. Know that. You do have to say it I can't just talk like this. If I talk like this, it comes out very computerized and digitalized. So you have to kind of mimic it. Well, I'm sorry I lost you on the liabilities and assets, Sarah. I was trying to explain it, but yeah. No, yeah, she is totally nasty to Owens.
Yeah.
Totally nasty.
Never heard such a nasty person, really.
Well, even when she's describing Patricia Cashman, when he's, I mean, it is more revealing, her text to her brother, because we always wondered, or Dexter, you wondered why did she turn down the deal or whatever. It's because her friend, I think Christina, had the charges dropped after a couple of years.
Yeah.
And her besties are talking back and forth, me like, you're next, Sarah. Your charge is going to be dropped, right? And well, what do you want in a lawyer? As Lana is asking her, and she's like, somebody to say yes and knows my side and knows that I'm innocent. Like, yeah. That's
it
why.
Has nothing to do with anything else that she saw happen. She just was convinced that she doesn't understand anything. She can't see herself at fault at all.
No.
Yeah, she definitely sees herself as innocent.
Right.
I could 1000%. She went into that case fully believing she was innocent.
Yeah, because she was also in jail with this woman named Danielle Redlick, who had murdered her husband, who had formerly been her stepfather. So there was a lot going on there. And she was acquitted. She was found not guilty. And Sarah was very involved with her. I mean, as involved with her as she could be, considering Danielle Redlick was probably stay the fuck away from me, Yeah. Like, that's what started it, I think.
Well, Beth works in finance. So you know what I'm talking about, assets and liabilities. I just talked to ex-Derek in the back. What we will do is we will reenact the section of the Derek chat in the chat log after this, so everyone will fully know what the deal. Like she put cash in banks or credit union. She left blank, and she left here. She should. I don't know how she didn't put this in here. Real quick, she put cash in banks or credit union. She left blank. How did she not put that she used to have a 30-year-old bank account that was closed because of Brian?
Yeah.
She would still have it if it weren't for Brian.
Just Brian.
So there's some real restraint going on here on her part.
Yes.
It's all handwritten. How would she not put it in parentheses right below it? I used to have one. I used to have one for 30 years.
She must have forgotten.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, because now she's all about the car.
Yeah, and Sharon Touch. I think it's Touche.
I don't think she ever had a 401k. Or did she? Did she say she did?
Well, it said in the dissolution, it mentioned something about retirement accounts, but it could have been just a general provision of like, hey, everybody's separate for retirement accounts are theirs.
Right.
I would struggle to know okay, it's Touch. I would struggle to know where she would have gotten a 401k. You have to at least be in job for 6 months to usually be eligible.
Yeah.
You have to make money to contribute it to it, and then you would have to roll it over. Speaking of, I've never rolled mine over from my old employer, but
I just did for my last employer, but I can't find. I work for part of NBC, and I can't find anywhere where it would be.
See, we've been invaded. She's with Xavier.
She's with Xavier. You took the words out of my mouth. Suma has no idea what we're talking about.
No, I don't. But
Xavier is behind Perverted Justice, who ran the sting for TCAP. And Lorne is convinced that Xavier, he was convinced for a long time that Xavier, well, he was being told this, that Xavier was behind everyone that was coming after him on the internet. Like Xavier was sending everyone to him.
You know, Xavier is putting out videos now, right?
No, I didn't know that.
The actual Xavier.
What is that?
That's the outside in my street.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. That's
no,
right.
the actual Xavier in the Xavier Von Erck, the actual Xavier is putting out, not often, like he hasn't in a couple months, but he's putting out videos about To Catch a Predator and specifically about Perverted Justice.
Can't believe anyone listens to him. You know, he said he doesn't care about kids. So stupid. But Lorne thinks this guy doesn't care about kids. I love kids. You're gonna listen to this guy. He hates kids. But again, liabilities. She puts other Kia Sorrento in storage unit as a liability from the petitioner. Whatever. This isn't a loan. These aren't liabilities. And by the way, not to get technical again, Bloodbath will understand this. Technically, the way this document reads is she has zero equity. Because if you owe the same amount that you have in assets, you have no net asset. You have no value. It's not a debt. And then she puts contingent assets. So she's got them listed as assets, liabilities, contingent assets. Putting them in all sections is stupid. Or maybe I'm just stupid. I don't know. Her monthly expenses, she's got $250 for food. These are all. Yeah, this is the favorite part. These monthly expense estimates: $250 for food, $100 for gifts for holidays. This is monthly expense. What is she going to spend? This is $1,200 a year on gifts, right?
Well, she spares no expense.
But even the gifts she listed out was $9 for a fish soap bag.
Those fish in a bag are not free.
A $22.
Yeah, that's right. They don't
bookmark.
come cheap in a $30 bookmark.
The
I think it was
bookmark
$22.
and the different.
32.
The different gel, the different face wash.
That was for her, though, right?
No, that was for. There was 3 soaps for
that was for her son?
her son.
Yeah, I think.
Also,
it was.
that's really what's she getting out there? That's the kind of gift my mother would give me. You know, I mean, not that exactly, but
Well,
my mother's a wonderful woman. I should say. I shouldn't. You know, I'm not comparing her. I'm just saying there's a little.
No. It's just the fact that even the gift giving, she wants the video scheduled because she wants to see the
Yeah,
reaction.
you can't open them
right?
until she's there.
Which means it's 100% for her. So, which is totally narcissistic. If you like, the only reason to give a gift is to see the reaction, like
Yes,
rather
it's for
than
you.
enjoy it.
It's like a
It's
performance.
100% for her,
And not the joy that he's getting. It's she wants the credit.
and why would I wouldn't even want to be there on the video where he's opening soap. You'd be like embarrassed, be like, oh my god, my gifts are terrible, right?
Mochi kit. Thanks, Mom.
You want to see his? He's like, open it up. Fish soap.
And again, it's just control. It's not like she gets no joy from giving gifts.
No.
I mean, she gave George a bike, and every time he rode it, she called 911 and said he stole it. You know.
Yeah, control.
Yeah.
200 other communication. $15 a month for uninsured medical and dental care. That's pretty cheap. I thought she was saying all her money was being drained in all those jail tablet messages. Like it was being drained $5 to $10 a day. I have insurance and I don't get to pay $15 a month. Other hygiene 50, writing items 20. Now, what is she always complaining about in her letters? She's always saying, I don't have stamps, paper, all this stuff. You want to say something?
Just that she can't prove any of this, and she doesn't understand that she's going to have to.
Well, she put estimate.
Right. But, you know. I mean,
She's got writing items 20.
This cost me $1 million a year, and that's the kind of money I need. They're not just going to be like, oh, okay, well.
And if you, when I add these up, it comes up to $735, right? Before, when she was on the outside, she was getting alimony via $1,000 a month, and she had to pay apartment rent. So her expenses have gone up. Her cost of living has increased in prison. Now I know that prison expenses are higher, right? But still, like,
I mean, but they don't have to be.
How is it more?
They don't have to be higher.
And who is she communicating with at $200 a month? Nobody's talking to her anymore.
Well, it cost her a lot to write all of those texts to Brian that he never reads.
All her messages into the ether.
Yeah.
I bet he's so eager to just have that thing fucking shut down. $20? Yeah.
And
if we add all these
Polly's right.
$250 for food.
What polynomial per read is right? Like, what $50 a month in prison clothes?
Underwear. The new fall line of rags. new slip-ons.
Yeah, I mean, that's really pushing it. Also, I thought that when you have a job in prison, you do get paid.
No, she put at the top of this
that she doesn't.
She doesn't get paid monetarily.
I know what she put.
But yeah, it's like
I don't think it's legal for
cents or something an hour.
Well, I don't think it's legal for them not to be paid anything. I think
it's not a lot, but it's still money.
Mm-hmm.
But she probably doesn't get that money because they're probably taking it out for that. Like she owed money.
I could believe that.
Right. I don't think they waived her expenses. It was like $600 or something from the jail. And when she was sentenced, if anyone remembers that, I think they probably would take it for that or whatever else she owes.
The other possibility is I imagine that jobs are probably kind of almost a privilege. I mean, it sounds like it wouldn't be, right? But, definitely the different jobs. But, you're getting paid to do something. I wouldn't doubt that she's gotten herself into trouble on the job. She's gotten fired from jobs in prison, basically.
Oh, yeah.
She can't she can't hold down the job in prison. Oh, what a loser. Plus 100 is 350, plus 200 is 550, plus 50 is 600, plus 15 medical is 615, plus 70 is 685, plus creditor Department of Corrections 50, that's 735. 735 a month in monthly expenses. Seems high for prison, but whatever. All right, do you want to do the reenactment now?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. All right, so this is part of the chat log. There's only a couple references to Derek, but one of the most genius. So they started talking on the 17th, right? So this is 5 days in. In order to get Lorne hooked, like really hook him in, make him jealous, they created this ex-Derek character. That was Kayla Princess's ex-boyfriend.
I loved her first.
So this is who ex-Derek is based on. Let me zoom in if I can. All right. I guess we're getting some early practice for Lorne 2025.
All right.
Oops. Should we just start right here? Oh, wait.
I don't know where you're pointing.
I mean, they're so good. It's all you can see the screen.
Oh, I could see the screen, but I can't see your mouse.
You see where I'm highlighting?
Oh, there.
you?
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Okay, go ahead, Lauren. Oh, wait. One line above.
Okay. Hold on. I gotta clear my mind of thought.
Getting a live read. You're very lucky
This
right
is
now.
cold. This is cold.
Yeah.
All right.
Best.
Okay. I don't know what time I'm going to be home, but I know it's going to be late. So don't wait up for me, okay? We still have all day tomorrow to spend together. But don't go in any chat rooms at all, okay? Please.
Okay, I'm not.
Promise?
I'm going to Jess' house anyways. Yes, I promise.
Okay, good.
That was her.
Thank you, my precious princess Rose.
These are emoticons or emojis, by the way.
But a bunch of my friends are going over. We're going to hang out.
Any boys?
Yeah.
Don't let them near you. You're my girl now and forever, right?
No. Okay, I won't.
Thank you, precious.
One problem.
Rose, what?
Well, Derek is going to be there.
Son of a bitch. That's not a problem, because if you're going to be honest with me and you want me, then you won't go near him. Just tell him to stay away from you, because if you don't, then you're gonna lose me. That's what he tells his 13-year-old pal bride.
Okay, then we skip ahead.
It's got to be after. Yeah, the after.
Yep. Okay.
All right, I got it.
Yep. Start. All right. I see.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go ahead. Pick whatever you want.
Yes, I did. I had a really good time. I had a lot of friends there last night. Did you have fun?
Yep.
Good. Was Derek there?
Yeah.
What happened?
What you mean?
Did he try to talk to you? Did you talk to him?
He said hi, and I said hi, and then I never talked to him again.
Good. Kissy face.
Kissy face.
I have to keep looking at your picture.
Lol. Why?
Because you're so beautiful to me, Rose, kissy face, hard eyes.
We're gonna keep going here to keep beating it.
Blushing face emoji.
I wish I could have you here with me right now.
You do? Really?
Yes, yep. But I'll be honest with you. If you were here with me right now, you wouldn't be wearing any clothes, blushing.
All right, last one. Let's see here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to do this one.
Yeah. Just start here.
All right. What have you been doing all day?
Hanging out
Where?
at Haley's.
Is that where you were last night?
Yeah.
Were any boys there?
Yeah.
Who?
Let's see. Cody, Tyler, Derek, Maria, Jesse, Haley, me, Lo.
Derek? X? Derek?
Yeah, that Derek.
Did you talk to him?
Yeah, a little.
Gonna tell me about it?
It was no big deal, really.
Okay. So you're gonna tell me about it then? Lol.
Okay. He said, hi, Kayla. And I said, hi, DJ. And he said, how you doing? I said, I'm doing okay.
That was all?
No, I'm thinking. He said, why don't you talk to me anymore? I said, because you're an ass. Lol.
Lol.
Good one, huh?
That's my baby, lol. Big hug, kissy face, hard eyes, rose.
Then he said, well, you know I still like you.
And what did you say?
I said, whatever. And he said, I really do. And I said, yeah, okay, DJ. And then he said something else, but I can't remember what it was. So then I went and talked to someone else. So then later, get this, he comes and sits right by me.
Straight face. I don't want him to sit by you.
And puts his arms around me and tries to kiss me.
Angry.
And I told him, I don't think so. So then he got mad and said, fine then, and didn't talk to me for the rest of the night.
Good. I don't like him.
Lo, you don't even know him.
He's trying to make a move on you. I don't like him.
That's fine. Yep.
Lo, can't make a move if I don't let him. Winky face.
Yeah, I know. But I didn't even like it when you told me he sat beside you. Then I started getting more mad when you told me he put his arm around you. If he would have kissed you, I would have been completely pissed off.
All right. End scene. Oops.
Well, that's about appropriate. And that is the origin of my name.
That is really loud. But anyway, there we go.
Amazing.
So yeah, that is why that's who X Derek is in universe, the jealous love rival of Lorne. Not an actual 13-year-old boy that I'm romantically involved with.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm glad we've cleared the air.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone thought that.
People had questions.
Now, was Kayla 13 in real life, or she was supposed to be?
She was supposed to be.
Right.
Supposed to be 13.
The pictures of Kayla, the decoy pictures they used of Kayla, they used like 4 different little girls. So
All like Eastern European.
Yeah, all Eastern. Well, I think one was from England or Ireland, but otherwise they
Supposed to be 13.
I mean, it could be a British man. He wouldn't know the difference, really.
You know, if he
Ponytails, that would do it. Earlier, I was watching this live from that most worst.
Oh yeah, Wes.
Yeah,
of course.
The most worst.
Yeah,
Yes.
because you guys and I, of course, subscribed, and they had a live earlier. And I didn't have my headphones on, and at some point I had to mute it because it was by open window, and I was like, my neighbors are going to think I'm completely deranged, what, like, and it was these like sexy conversations.
Yeah, it was the doctor
AI British guy and this other guy, and yeah,
Cornell's got it right. 5 different girls. I think the girl in the pool and the one in the pink tank top.
If you count,
Definitely Eastern European. Sexy little thing in a pool. What did you say? Sexy little thing in the pool.
Look at that sexy little thing in the pool.
he's really disgusting.
He is entirely disgusting. And this chat log is 400 pages.
That's why we read
That's
it.
why you break it up over a month.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
How long have you been reading it?
I only did it first time last
We
year.
did it last year.
So
I've
it's an
listened
annual
for
thing?
a few years.
Yeah.
now. We celebrate it every year. Yeah, it's like Lent.
Got it.
That's why it's called Lawrence.
Lawrence. Because Lawrence.
And it ends with a sacrifice of him going to the TCAP sting.
Yeah.
Sheriff's office. Do I still have it? Maybe not. Oh, I don't think I have it here.
Sheriff's office down! Get down!
I love that his friends used to scream that at him. His
Yeah.
one friend.
All right, so let's get on to the next motion. Do you want sanctions or discovery demand first?
They're both the same to me.
Oh, they're very different. One is she wants him to be punished for not following the rules about the pretrial conference. The other one is she wants more discovery. Okay, so we'll go to the one.
Motion to petition mandatory compliance and enforce sanctions to petitioner and his counsel for direct violations of the pretrial conference order set forth on April 28th, 2025. Comes now, pro se respondent, Sarah.
Yeah, actually, Cornhole three-way she was organizing the one that I joined in last year. That's how I got into streaming. So everyone here, you can all blame Cornhole three-way for all of this.
Yeah, and it was basically Cornhole three-ways and Cornville three-ways spreadsheet that got us connected.
What were you gonna say, Suma?
I was going to say, did you get this from the court, or this is just
No, I got this. I sent in my whole what do you call it, notarized thing.
Oh, you did. I remember you talking about that, but I remember thinking, well, if he's anything like me, that's just never going to get notarized.
No, I did. I found a way. So I filled it all out, and then there's online notaries, which is great. And then I did that whole thing. And then I found, because I don't really have a print, and I don't have a car, right? So it's incredibly hard for me it's probably harder for me to mail something than Sarah. But I don't have any stamps.
She doesn't have a car either, by the way.
You could find it online. There's services. It wasn't cheap. It was like $20 to mail the letter, but
yeah,
I got access. So
I didn't realize that.
Yep.
That's amazing. Sorry, go on.
No, it's all right. That's why I have my little watermark over there. If any,
right, that's how I see. That's how I figured it out.
Boone and respectfully files this motion to compel and enforce sanctions to Brian C. Boone and his counsel, Joshua J. Martell, for refusing to adhere to the instructions of the court's pretrial conference order. 1. Procedural history. A. This honorable court entered a uniform order setting pretrial conference and...
I'll review it. So the pretrial conference said everyone needs to... this is the way all pretrial conferences go. The two sides get together, talk about what the issues are, come up with what they agree, and then what they don't agree with, they put in a pretrial statement so that when you go to trial, the judge only has to deal with those items. Right? It's a time-saving measure. That's why I wanted them to get together. The lawyer did not do that. Said, "Hey, she's incarcerated. I'm not going to meet with her."
Yeah,
which is just a
really.
Well, I mean, that's what he said, but we know the real reason. There's no point in meeting with Sarah. He's just like, I'll take my licks. The judge can see what this nightmare is.
That's right. So sue me.
Yes.
for non-jury trial.
So she's asking for all his punishment because they didn't meet.
On April 28, 2025. B. This order by the court requires the inclusion of both parties, petitioner and respondent, to cooperate and, quote, shall read this order, be familiar with its contents, and comply with its requirements, end quote. C. This direct and clearly stated order by the court requires the inclusion of both parties, petitioner and respondent, to cooperate and, quote, shall read this order, be familiar with its contents, and comply with its requirements, end quote. D. Included in this order, and more specifically to be followed accordingly by both parties, include the following. 1. Page 2, number 5. Mediation. Parties must have completed mediation as to all matters before the pretrial conference. 2. Page 2 and 3, Section 8. Meeting of attorneys and unrepresented parties. No later than 20 days before the pretrial conference. Counsel who will try the case and or self-represented litigants, if any, shall meet in person. Attendance at this meeting is mandatory. Petitioner's attorneys shall arrange a mutually agreeable time, date, and place for this meeting. At the meeting, the attorneys and or self-represented litigants shall discuss, determine, review, identify, clarify, and narrow, exchange, reduce, prepare, and attempt to agree on other matters that will lead to a more orderly and expeditious trial, including the preparation of the joint pretrial statement. 3. Page 3, Section 9. Joint pretrial statement. Following the meeting of attorneys and or self-represented parties, counsel for the petitioner shall prepare and present a proposed joint pretrial statement to counsel for the respondent, or the respondent is self-represented. The statement shall be signed by all attorneys and self-represented parties, filed with a copy delivered to the judge no later than 5 days before the pretrial conference. To the extent that the other parties differ as to how portions of the statement should read, the differing views should be set forth in the statement. The court expects parties to reach reasonable stipulations regarding the facts and issues of this case. The memorandum shall contain the following for each area below when that relief is at issue. A. Original or supplemental proceeding. B. The children. C. Alimony. D. Real property. E. Personal property. F. Debts. G. Attorney's fees and costs. H. Trial exhibits / witnesses. I. Miscellaneous. J. Good faith estimate. K. Financial affidavits. 4. Page 7, Section 10. Refusal to cooperate. If a party refuses to cooperate with the filing of a joint pretrial statement or a joint equitable distribution spreadsheet, each party must file its own pretrial statement and/or spreadsheet at least 5 days prior to the pretrial.
So here's where she screwed up. The other side filed their own, said we don't have an objection to her filing her own. And she didn't file anyone. Or she didn't file one. So, you know, she's complaining that they didn't follow the rules, but then she didn't as well. Because she just wants to complain.
Conference and bring a copy of the pretrial statement to the pretrial conference, accompanied by the communications between parties and/or their attorneys, at which time the court may direct a party to be responsible for the creation of a joint pretrial statement, issue sanctions, and/or attorney's fees. 5. Page 8, Section 14. Notification of settlement. The parties will notify the judge's assistant immediately by email upon the case being settled, and fax/email a notice of settlement with the actual settlement agreement attached and a statement that such settlement addresses all outstanding issues of the parties signed by both parties and their attorneys before the trial will be removed from the docket. 6. Page 8. Sanctions. Unexcused failure of counsel or unrepresented party to attend the meeting of attorneys required herein, the pretrial conference or trial, or to comply with the requirements of this order will subject the offending counsel or party to appropriate sanctions, which may include a contempt, dismissal, default, striking of pleadings, exclusion of evidence, assessment fees or costs, and/or other sanctions. E. On May 8th, petitioner ignored and violated the court's order by unilaterally filing a written response asserting he was exempt from this mandatory and required meeting due to the respondent's incarceration.
Yeah. Why would you want to meet with her? Like, we already know of the examples of her screaming her lawyers, her own lawyers, in meetings with Owens, Trisha Cashman. She needed a pretend judge there. I still don't understand what this pretend judge was. Does anyone know?
Of course we know.
What was it? She would just take on the dual role. She'd be like, I'm the judge and I say that this is wrong.
She told Patricia Cashman to pretend that there was a judge present so that she could act right.
Right, but like...
That's all.
How would she act any differently?
Here. She had to make a pretend judge because Patricia Cashman doesn't know how to act. She felt that Patricia Cashman would not have been rude
to her.
I
get it, but I'm saying, like, in real world, how does this look? Like, Patricia, pretend there's a judge here. She wouldn't, why would she do anything different? She's not doing anything differently illegally. She would just say, okay, judge, I'm trying to explain to my client who's an idiot.
I mean, first of all, also, how degrading is that?
Well, I don't know that anyone would feel degraded by Sarah.
Right, but...
You might think you're actually doing pretty good. If Sarah's against you, you must be doing
Sarah
something right.
Sarah never behaves right. She behaves worse when the judge is there, so...
Yeah. Yeah, the judge goes, I overrule your lawyer.
Yeah. Is our pretend judge still here? I guess not.
I guess, yeah, she needs to explain herself.
Yeah.
If petitioner and his counsel have refused to cooperate with the court, its order, and the respondent by making no
They followed all the rules, all the orders, except for meeting with you, Sarah. That's the only one they didn't follow. The only one. And you didn't follow any of them.
She doesn't do anything. She never doesn't follow any protocol.
She didn't do anything.
No.
attempt or order in any manner to include her to comply and complete this just and mandatory meeting of attorneys as directed. She has not received to date any communication via direct letter, email response, or telephone call to her outside resource to schedule any type of meeting.
Again, this is so stupid. Your outside resource is not you. Unless your outside resource is a lawyer, the opposing counsel is not going to talk to him. That's law 101. You can't represent somebody as a non-attorney. And outside opposing counsel cannot talk to somebody on your behalf as like an advocate or whatever. You are not. How does she's been in prison for 5 years. How has she not even heard this through like other people being like, oh yeah, I can't get in contact with my lawyer.
She learns. I mean, I don't know how many times I can say it, but I've said it. I say it to myself all the time. She learns nothing.
She got that $600 book. Well, I don't know if she ever got it, but.
You mean from her brother?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't. Did they talk about the price of that book when they were?
No, it was mentioned in chat last week.
$600.
Yeah, I remember it being mentioned, but I can't imagine that that's the book they were talking about because her brother's not paying $100 for a book for her.
If her brother paid $15, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing about her brother that I feel so bad for him, he's constantly he's not directly saying it, but like he is almost. He's alluding to like, yeah, I have a lot of health problems. I'm dealing with the VA. I'm being shipped out to Iraq again or whatever. And she just kind of brushes over it like, yeah, but can you send me those photos and order me the coffee?
I hope he's lying, and I don't blame him for lying if he is, because he knows exactly. I think it seems to me like he's almost saying these things just because he knows that she's going to brush over it and be like, where's my jump in Java? And then he can really feel justified in being like, fuck this bitch, you know?
Yeah, no, I got you.
That's my guess. I don't know. Of course, I hope he's not really just being shipped off and he's sick and all that. But I kind of get the feeling that he's doing what a smart person who knows her would do, which is like, you know.
Yeah, it's also weird that he keeps contacting her, right? Like he would be totally justified in cutting her off, and I don't.
He will.
But I don't know.
I think he will. He probably he had to be pushed to his limit.
Even an in-person meeting should have been coordinated accordingly, especially with petitioner's counsel informing the court in the last telephonic hearing that he has an understanding of working with incarcerated individuals. The respondent made her own attempt to schedule this meeting of attorneys by having her outside resource contact the petitioner's counsel. Again,
not going to communicate with your outside resource. This must be Lana, right? I assume this is Lana she's referring to. Lana must have been the outside resource contacting on her behalf, right? Because she holds Lana in high regard.
Yeah,
like,
Lana
you're so smart.
And that other one was too, I think.
Christina, I get the feeling that she thinks Christina and them are flakes. So
yeah, she'll use Lana because Lana to her is almost a lawyer, basically.
Yeah. There's a funny portion in the messages. I mean, I don't know how much you've seen of Tanika. Tanika's obviously months ahead in the messages, so you probably have seen this. But Lana says something like, "Oh, I'm just picturing you after she gets out of prison, right, on a cruise in Alaska, laughing from her live stream from the millions of views she's going to get on her broadcast, being like, are you kidding me?"
Well, that's sweet.
I didn't see that yet, but yeah. I don't know.
Well, Lana. Oh, wait. Yeah, Lana. Was Lana deceased?
Yeah, Lana died a few weeks ago.
So this has to be somebody else.
Oh, right, because this is recent.
Yeah, this is the 12th. This is less than a month ago.
Might be that guy from Delphina or whatever it's called.
Maybe. Either way, they're not going to talk to her, Sarah.
No.
Via email on
That
May
fact can't
12th.
last much longer, I don't think. I think this is giving him very bad press, actually, this whole thing. But
2025 on her behalf, as nothing has been received as with other documents mailed by the petitioner. Top stressed and heavily emphasized her eagerness to participate in this meeting. No response has been received to date. H. In addition to the petitioner ignoring the respondent, violating her due process, and demonstrating unlawful procedural fairness in this case, she also received this pretrial conference order on May.
I know I'm repeating a lot of things in my pre-recorded, right? But this has nothing to do with due process. You cannot violate opposing counsel in civil cases due process, right? It only has to do with the court and the government, and it's not against the law. These are court orders, not due process rights. Like there is no possible way to violate due process as opposing counsel.
there's also no possible way to
civil
repeat
case.
yourself with Sarah Boone. You can say the same thing over and over again, and everyone still wants to hear him talk about it. It's never enough.
And then, like, we're about to get into legal arguments, which are
May 15th, 2025. The envelope is stamped May 7th, 2025, sent from the court 14 business days, 2 weeks, after generated on April 28th, 2025. Legal argument. A. The court's pretrial orders are mandatory and must be complied with unless modified by further order of the
agreed.
court.
Pro se.
See Family Law Rules of Procedure. 2D. Quote, the
So she doesn't set a rule here. She's putting 2D. The rules have numbers. She doesn't cite the number. And that would be important in the legal argument portion of this.
court shall make an order reciting the action taken at a conference and any stipulations made. This order will control the subsequent course of the action unless modified to prevent injustice. End quote. E. Incarcerated parties retain the right to meaningful access to the courts and to participate in family law proceedings. Florida courts have.
She has access to the court. How do you think we're reading this letter,
has she ever
Sarah?
lost access?
Now, how do you think we're reading this letter, Sarah? Because you sent it to the court. Because you have access to the court. Doesn't mean you have access to everything you want.
Consistently held that, quote, an incarcerated litigant has a right of access to the courts that must be protected, particularly when fundamental parental rights or matters of family law are at stake. CTLV, Department of Children and Families, Zachary versus Zachary. C. The petitioner's decision to refuse to meet, confer, and communicate in any manner with respondent constitutes a knowingly and willful violation of this court's orders and heavily impedes her guaranteed due process in the lawful preparation of her defense and case.
No, it doesn't! Sarah, you idiot! You have your own defense. You put that in your own statement. Finding out what they disagree with is nothing to do with your defense, right? You can put your own, if anything, this helps you in terms of, you know, we didn't meet, we didn't discuss anything, and here's my demands. And if she had filed it on time, right, the court would probably look favorable to her if she had done everything on time versus opposing counsel, right? I'm just saying,
More
like,
favorable,
everything else being equal. Okay, well, Sarah followed the rules as best she could. You chose to not meet with her. So when, you know, if it comes down to 50-50, the scale might tip in Sarah's benefit. But because she didn't do anything, because all she thinks about is, I need to know what somebody else says so I can oppose it. She can't state anything on her own without knowing what they're going to say first, because she doesn't know how to think objectively for herself. She can't just state, this is what I should have because of this. She has to have an opposing position to respond to. That's how ingrained she is in being confrontational. That's what my thought is. But
Yeah, she's
yeah.
D. Florida Rule of Family Law Procedure 12.202C states, quote, and 20 days notice must be given before a pretrial conference. On failure of a party to attend the conference, the court may dismiss the action.
Well, this is totally irrelevant. They filed their stuff more than 20 days. You didn't, Sarah.
Strike the pleadings, limit proof or witnesses, or take any other appropriate actions, end quote. E. Petitioner cannot unilaterally decide to disobey the court's order and avoid this mandatory meeting by citing respondent's incarceration. Many feasible options are available in
this whole section here, there's no law cited, no rule cited. This is just argument with no foundation. She needed case law here.
still, including the instructed in-person meeting. And other options could have been
Or cite a
explained,
statute or
simplified, and discussed. Would the petitioner have contacted the respondent to include her and abide by the court's order? No attempt or effort was made on the petitioner's behalf by his counsel to date. Therefore, all open aforementioned items are still to be concluded, which may have been already would they have complied and cooperated as instructed.
I guarantee you nothing would have been resolved if they'd contacted her.
Nope.
We know that, Sarah. Everyone knows that, Sarah, except for you won't admit it, right? There's no way they came out of that being like handshaking with like the, thumbs up. Like we just made the deal with the snapshot. Like breaking ground. Yeah, we came to a full agreement. We agreed to give Sarah everything she wanted, and she still wouldn't be happy.
Oh, Suma, you're on mute.
Thank you. If it wasn't for Derek, I'd never know.
Possibly
I should be playing more music in the background. Nobody guessed the last one. It was Romeo and Juliet. Tchaikovsky, by the way. I know I'm a little bit cultured for
Yeah, that's
everyone.
very highfalutin.
I used to be a percussionist. I loved playing this one on tour.
avoiding the time and expense of a trial altogether for everyone, including and foremost the court. 3. Relief requested. Wherefore, respondent respectfully requests that this honorable court A.
Hello, Chevy.
Issue an order compelling petitioner to communicate with respondent to properly cooperate in scheduling and participating in the mandatory meeting of attorneys and unrepresented parties. E. Require petitioner to comply with all provisions of the pretrial conference order. C. Enforce appropriate sanctions on petitioner and his counsel for being in direct violation of the pretrial conference order, excluding the respondent, hindering her due process and lawful progress in her defense, implementing their own rules by ignoring and overruling the court. G. Warn petitioner and his counsel that continued failure to include the respondent and comply with court orders will result in further sanctions under Florida Family Law Rules of Procedures. 2C. E. Grant any other relief the court deems just and proper. Respectfully submitted this 19th day of May, 2025. Sarah Boone.
Yeah, I didn't point as much stuff in the pre-recorded, but anyway. Okay, discovery demand.
To compel petitioner for amended discovery responses and
Were there any final thoughts on that one?
So she was complaining about everything. Meanwhile, Brian and his attorney had filed everything properly and on time.
Yeah, the only thing they did was not meet with her beforehand. But then they said in their motion when they turned it in, because they filed the pretrial statement on the 6th or the 8th of May and said, look, we didn't meet with her because she's in prison. Here's our position. We have no opposition to her filing her own.
So there's no need for a meeting.
Well, no, there is. You still. Oh, wait. Yeah, there's no need for a meeting in the sense of like, without saying it, we're not going to come to any agreement. So there's no point, and we're just going to have to hash it out.
financial affidavit and enforce sanctions by the court for false information. Comes now, pro se respondent, Sarah Boone, and respectful.
And this is where Sarah's coming in hot, saying she's got all the proof that Brian is lying about his income.
How
We
dare
moves this honorable court to enter an order compelling the petitioner Brian C. Boone to complete all previously requested interrogatories as motioned by the respondent on April 29, 2025, and amend his financial affidavit with true and correct information for all parties, including the court, to proceed lawfully and properly. In support, the respondent states as follows. 1. Background. A. Petitioner filed his financial affidavit indicating he is and has been, quote, unemployed for the past 3 years, 2022, 2023, 2024, and without income, assistance, or assets of any kind. B. Petitioner has refused to answer duly served interrogatories by the respondent, citing the requests are irrelevant and unnecessary. See filing May 6, 2025.
Thank you, Candace. I won't.
Respondent has evidence needed to be brought to the court's attention where she believes the petitioner is knowingly and willfully misleading the court and respondent in misrepresenting his financial status, past and present. 1. The shared minor child has indirectly made statements regarding the petitioner having a real job and is not doing contract work anymore.
All right, Sarah, go f yourself. I mean, computer contract work may be differently, but I am a full-time contractor. That means I get paid whether I'm working or not because I am full-time. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not an
Sarah
independent contractor, but
Sarah understands nothing.
yeah, and contractors are not cheap. Like she treats it like it's a temp work, or that's the way she talks about it. Right?
Yeah,
it is
she
not
doesn't-
temp work.
She doesn't understand
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I want to know if she got that book now, because I don't know if we got an answer yet from Sin Sliced Bread, but I'm curious because I just don't see him buying that book.
I looked through the pages I have from Tanika. Tanika sent me the text messages, right? Because I don't have those, but
Yeah.
I asked her for the next portion because I really need this is like the cliffhanger for me. I'm like, what happened with this book?
Yeah.
What happened with this book? Right? Because
Yeah.
I think it's, I don't know what's funnier if she got it, but if she didn't get it and then because she was just begging and her brother ends up just being another string of like Brian saying he's sending the hot meals and her brother being like, oh, I
I
sent
mean,
the
she'll
book.
end up feeling that way about him anyway, because Sarah doesn't care about anyone, and she's certainly, it's literally impossible to stay in her good graces.
Yeah, because eventually you're going to have to confront reality, and that in reality and Sarah just don't mix. It's like oil and water, right?
You just can't do anything that she's doesn't approve of, and that means anything that, anything really. Not send her money, not. Oh, she doesn't think so.
Yeah, no, we covered that last week. She blew up. Remember?
Oh, okay.
Do you remember? She's like, "What the?"
Yeah.
When he's like, "I got your book in my hand."
Okay.
I got your book in my hand.
I don't think he ever sent it. That's I don't know if it was pro se client who said that, or.
And then there was also the problem of he wanted to send it via Amazon, and
she
she's
was like,
"No,
"No,
it's
stop it! Stop!
Yeah, yeah.
I told you." And
No,
right?
he said it got sent to him, and he was going to send it to her, and she was like, "No, you can't do that. You got to have it come directly from the distributor." Which again,
Right.
like reading through her text messages, she knows she's lying in a lot of the stuff because she goes, "Oh, I'm not going to be able to get this anymore after this date," and then she will tell other people like, "Oh, go ahead," and she's not expressing the same concern
no,
to other things.
she's incredibly demanding and ungrateful, and she says to Lana sometimes, "Well, beggars can't be choosers," and I'm like, that's so weird that you even know that expression. Because it,
Right.
like, how do you even learn that, and how do you understand what it means?
Well, because remember last week she was talking about the cutoff of pictures, January 1st, right? She kept saying that over and over
Yes.
and over and over and over. January 1st, last day to upload pictures, Well, in May, her brother, March or May of 2024, months later, she's asking her brother to send photos because, there's a cutoff date. So I think these cutoff dates are all
in her mind.
Or she doesn't
really?
fully understand the rule.
No,
right?
she makes that up because she gets impatient. She just tells them there's a cutoff date. It's like when she on that body cam where she couldn't find her car keys, and it was already nighttime, and her car keys she didn't even look for them, but she was crying and carrying on. All of a sudden, I need my car keys, and
Well, she's following the J.J. Abrams model. She thinks the ticking clock is needed for drama and to make the story interesting. J.J. Abrams is famous for using ticking clocks, setting, we've only got an hour in this movie or this episode. And then he handed over episode 8 to Ryan Johnson, who ruined goddamn whatever. Anyway.
it works. It's like be the first 5 who order, and you'll get a free toaster or whatever.
You get a free honey bun.
Yeah, free delicious delights.
The one thing I do think she was telling about, and I just keep revealing it. They eventually say there's no more hot meals. She's like, don't even bother. So when she's saying don't even bother, that there are no more hot meals. I'm like, yes. Yeah. Yes, this is good. This is good. No more hot meals for you. No more hot meals, Sarah.
2. Petitioner has documentation showing Petitioner receives regular family support approximating $3,000 to $17,000 or more per month in past years, where he states zero on his submitted financial.
Yeah, so I covered this in the pre-record. So what she's talking about is she received credit card statements from Brian's side, right? Respondent has documentation. It's because the petitioner gave it to her, but shows a balance of like credit cards, right? So the $17,000 month was probably the month with the Alaska trip, right? Where they bought the plane tickets and the cruise or whatever. That is not income, Sarah. And I say this in pretend judge chat name. What?
Yeah, because pretend
judge. Sarah doesn't understand. Like, she should understand that just because I'm spending someone else's money, it's not income. That's all she does her entire life. And she's just done nothing but spend other people's money.
That's her money.
But she sees it because she has to report the alimony as income. Well, anytime anyone gives anyone money, that's income, even though she put 0 on her form.
She's not reporting anything.
The funny part is that she's like acting like she caught him in a lie when these are documents they turned over, right? And obviously, if it was actual income coming in that he was not reporting on here, he would have much bigger problems with the IRS, which I doubt he is willing to mess with the IRS.
Does Brian strike you as the type who does anything? Like, he kind of seems like a by the book guy.
Yeah, and you could tell, and we know he comes from money. It's obvious from his filing, because I didn't publish his financial affidavit purposely because I don't want to put his business out there, right?
Yeah,
he lists the assets of the house and stuff, and there's no monthly payment. So I'm guessing like either he was gifted one of his parents' houses or they bought one for him, etc. Right? So he's coming from money, and that has got to boil Sarah to the bones, being like, God.
She mentions that. She does mention it in some of her.
He has all this money from his parents, which she thinks makes him less of a person, right? Because she doesn't have any of this money. Imagine how much of a greater person if she had access to all these assets, she wouldn't be just where she is now. And Brian's such a goddamn loser for not being
off his rich parents, and she has no family and no money and no heirlooms and no Kia and Sorrento and no dog, blind or deaf.
Yeah, both their dogs are now dead. They're both dead. The worst decision Sarah ever did was getting divorced. Like, I mean, she could have.
It wasn't her choice. That's how
I know. Doing things to get to that point. If she, well, I mean, we could be looking at like Corey Richards situation here, though, where
I don't think she's not. She's not going to just poison someone. She has to
torture them to death. She has to, yes, like.
Which is why it's very much safer for her son because I've always felt that she would turn her attentions, her sadistic attentions to her son. And she does texts.
Really got to reassign that button.
That button just goes off randomly.
It's
I
the
don't
bottom
even
of
notice it
it's in
anymore.
the bottom of the StreamYard deck, and my keyboard hits it, and
Your extra pair of panties.
There
see,
we
I
go.
should
That's
put
good.
that one there.
Yes.
Affidavit and mandatory disclosure. D. Petitioner's financial disclosures appear incomplete or misleading in violation of Florida Family Law Rule of Procedure 12.285, which requires full and honest disclosure of income, assets, and liabilities in all family cases involving financial relief. 2. Legal standard. A.
And none of this matters. The other thing that I didn't mention in my pre-record is none of this matters in terms of she's making the argument of he is trying to say he can't pay, which they never do. They never do in any of the arguments so far. They have not made it a motion saying he is destitute, he cannot afford alimony. They have said she is not entitled to alimony because of her life circumstances, and they have mentioned the child support, right? But they have never said he cannot pay or he wouldn't pay if he was ordered, right? So all of this is nonsense, because if she doesn't get the ruling that she is owed the alimony, which is very in doubt, which she doesn't make any really motions for here to support it. This is all fluff. This is why the motion was denied, obviously.
Party cannot unilaterally refuse to respond to interrogatories without seeking a protective order. Objections without motion for protective relief are improper.
I'm repeating myself again. She's conflating two issues here. She's saying you can't deny an interrogatory without a protective order, which is false, because they don't cite that these are privileged and there's a protective order. They say your requests are nonsensical, unnecessary, irrational, improper, right? Gibson v. Gibson. I'm not going to remember it now. This was about a court transcription person being allowed to sit on a psychiatric hearing. I don't know what has to do with this.
See Gibson v. Gibson. B. Full financial disclosure is barred under Rosen v. Rosen, which holds that financial affidavits and supporting documents must reflect all sources of income, including gifts and support from others. C. Misrepresentation of financial status is a form of discovery abuse that...
What do you mean, Susan Boone? Eric's... Oh, wait a minute. Susan Boone. Okay, Eric, go ahead. This is the person that thinks I'm holding you hostage.
You are.
There you
Well, god damn it.
go. I mean, what do you think was going to
I'm
happen?
in your basement.
So is
I don't-
he? Are you in your
Joke's on you. I don't have a basement. No, Derek is not uninformed. He's not trapped here. I like having Derek here.
Put
as well
Sarah
as
Boone
Sue.
on the thing, though. I want to see her little pets there. Oh, are
Those are cute
puppy
dogs.
young?
Those are cute dogs.
I mean, they're all dogs and cats and animals are cute, but I like that picture. I mean, they're all super cute. I love them all. As a matter of fact. What is your cat's name? Hear me out.
Well, there's Dexter, who...
Who's
Well,
the
there's,
one in
there's
the-
two
in the-
cats.
In
Well,
the,
there's actually three cats. One is Cosby, who's the Norwegian cat who has to duck under the dining room table to walk around because he's goddamn gigantic. He's
Holy
17 years
crap.
old. No, he doesn't literally have to duck under the dining room table, but you know, he's huge.
Norwegians
He
are
just
very tall.
runs. When I'm downstairs, I hear across the ceiling. I know Cosby's running up there like a horse. Derek, or not Derek.
Yeah, I'm
Chloe-
just one of the cats.
This is Chloe.
Outstanding.
Chloe is terrible. She is very mean. She does not understand personal space at all.
She ended a stream once.
Dexter ends the streams all the time. Dexter is always sitting there, climbing around. I will try and find. Well, Dexter is the photo here, but Dexter is the one that is constantly sitting on the computer because it's warm.
Is Dexter the tuxedo?
Yes, Dexter's the tuxedo. Dexter is very, very. No, Cosby's not a Maine Coon. He's Norwegian. We thought he was a Maine Coon, but there's a Norwegian cat which apparently looks a lot like Maine Coon. No, these cats are not deaf and blind. Dexter is he's very immature. That's why he still acts like this.
He can't blink twice because you'll notice that he's not allowed to have a camera.
He's allowed to have a camera. He doesn't want to.
Well, not in the basement. He's not.
No, I've got a camera on him in the basement, monitoring the situation. No, Chloe is very invasive of personal space. Dexter is very skittish, but likes me. So,
doesn't Chloe like you?
No, she does, but she doesn't respect my boundaries.
Yeah, well,
I will be sitting there.
That she likes
that's
you.
a cat. That is
Look
a
at
cat.
this. Yeah, well, I mean, like this video here. Where is it? This one.
Sexy lover, I've been watching you for.
Not ask her to come and sit in my arms. She just comes up and sits in my arms and will not leave. If I pick her up and put her on the ground, she'll go and then comes back up, and then
She
it's just
also knows when you don't want her to. That's the thing about cat.
Sexy lover, I've been watching you for.
That's when they have to come to you, is when you don't want them on you.
Must.
Exactly.
All you have to do is do not be interested, and then they're all up in your business. Like, you want to read the newspaper? No.
No. You got to type on your computer? No.
May result in sanctions.
Here, 1 second.
See Bobbins v. Robbins. 3. Argument. A. Petitioner's refusal to answer interrogatories and the apparent inconsistencies in his financial affidavit undermine the integrity of this proceeding and inhibit respondent's ability to properly prepare for her case, particularly with regard to equitable distribution and potential support obligations. B. In petitioner's objection to previously served interrogatories, petitioner objects to the 14 days expedited request as not being consistent with the judge's initial pretrial conference order. Respondent respectfully reminds the court that the expedited timeline is due to the petitioner's not submitting accordingly or truthfully.
Hold on,
C.
is that true?
Evidence suggests petitioner is either employed or regular.
I was looking for the Dexter video. What was that?
Is that true, what she just said?
What'd she just say?
She said the timeline is, the expedited timeline is due to the petitioners not submitting accurately or truthfully.
No, oh yeah, wait. You notice the stupidity of this statement, right? Listen to it grammatically one more time. What is the petitioner what is the petitioner submitting here or not doing?
Truthfully. C.
Right.
That the expedited timeline is due to the petitioners not submitting accordingly or truthfully. C. Evidence.
What?
That got cut off. Oh no, I'm thinking of a different section. She later says that the respondent didn't, or the petitioner didn't truthfully file the respondent's initial motion timely. Like, how are they supposed to file yours?
Oh yeah, no, not that.
Yeah. No, the 14 days is what she requested, and they cited the case law saying no, it's 30 days. We're not changing that up.
Suggests petitioner is either employed or regularly receiving substantial financial assistance from third parties. These funds must be disclosed per Florida law. As an example for the court, petitioner states on his financial affidavit, 1. Monthly gross income, line 15 and 16. Any other income of reoccurring nature. Identify sources. Petitioner has left this line item blank. 2. In review of petitioner's credit card statements supplied for only April 26, 2024 to March 27, 2025, 11 months. Per month, the petitioner received between $3,000 to $17,000. Combined total for all months in this time period was calculated at over $39,000. For this, quote, income, an income tax return should have been filed.
Okay, so Derek, do you know anyone else in this case that is getting money from other people?
Yeah, I do. As a matter of fact,
Who?
Sarah.
Oh, okay. So this is bullshit.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And no, you would not file an income tax. This is maybe more of my accountant thing, but
Yeah, actually, I was going to ask. So, I thought you would have to.
no, you don't. Like, if your parents give you money, right? They pay tax on the money. You don't have to pay tax 2 times.
Yeah, you do. I mean, you have to pay. If I get alimony, for example.
No, not alimony, because alimony is deducted by the person giving it to you. I'm talking parents. Parents giving you money.
So a gift.
Yeah, it's a gift or whatever, even if whatever it is.
Here, there's a limit. It can only be like up to 10 grand, I think. And after that, you have to pay taxes.
But you might have to declare it, but it's after tax money. They have paid the tax. They're not taking a deduction for it. You can't double tax the income.
Huh.
I don't know what I'm saying.
thought you did.
I hate it. I hate taxes.
Yeah, it's an interesting line of work you picked.
It's
Can you imagine the letters that Sarah would write the IRS if she owed taxes?
Oh, I would
The
love to read
IRS
those.
IRS agent, like, it's driven
IRS.
over the edge. She's like, I can't stand it. like, dude, you rock salt. You're the Tony the Terminator. What? Who's gotten into your brain? He's like, this is President Sarah. She's just driving me insane.
Yeah.
No, I don't do taxes. I do other types of accounting.
I know, I just teasing you.
No, I know. I mean, most people don't picture me as an accountant for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, I have to say it was not what I wouldn't have been my first guess.
See, I could.
I mean, I'm not completely shocked, but I just wouldn't have.
No, that's fine. No, I don't. Accountants are
Sarah,
boring.
would you have thought of that as one of your would you be like, oh, he's in finance?
Wait, who?
Would you think he's in finance? I'm asking Derek because he.
Well, finance I see as a little bit different than accounting.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
could see HearMeowt.
Really?
I could see him being an accountant.
Oh yeah. No, I could totally be like a Coke bro or something. Like,
Right.
you gotta get into these options.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
chose the word fine.
No, you gotta get derivatives now. No.
which petitioner is refusing to submit in one motion and saying none exist in another. 3. Respondent is compelling petitioner for additional evidence in truthful, which is lawfully necessary to prove her defense of contempt, including why he was not working for over 3 full years and able to live a non-destitute lifestyle while supporting a child. 4. Expenses detailed on the financial affidavit provided by petitioner did not include the petitioner's regular purchase of alcohol, cigarettes, video games, Uber Eats 5 out of 7 days a week, football games.
Such a moron. You're complaining about them underreporting expenses. That doesn't help you, you idiot. Like,
Idiot.
if they have more expenses, that lowers the amount of income they have to dispose of. Like, it doesn't make any. She's just complaining to complain.
Correct. This is for diary. Remember?
Yeah.
Cruise packages, etc. More examples of inaccurate expenses include groceries, bill payments, cell phone, miscellaneous entertainment. 5. Petitioner
He put $50 for miscellaneous entertainment, so I'm assuming she thinks it should be more. Which again is stupid. Extremely stupid.
What does she need entertainment for?
No, it's
She's talking about his.
He said it's $50 a month miscellaneous entertainment. So he spends more than that.
Yeah, he should. I hope so.
Yeah.
has left numerous entries blank, entered 0 or stated none exist, which respondent can prove otherwise, especially with the requested additional documentation,
You have no
paperwork, and
proof!
tax returns. Also, respondent would like to bring to the court's attention that petitioner refuses to complete visitation forms which respondent has pleaded for him to submit since January 7th, 2025. Petitioner repeatedly lies about completing this task, including to the minor child who has been asking petitioner to finish and send numerous times when on the phone with the respondent.
And we know this is bullshit because going through the text messages from later on earlier in this year, what she says, she's yelling at him, being like, oh, you don't want to visit me or whatever. And then she will go to Brian, which is just so stupid because he can read both of them. Obviously, she goes, we really want to set this up. And meanwhile, she's yelling at her son, being like, oh, you don't want to meet with me? You don't like me being, am I just a stranger? Am I nothing to you? The way you treat me. Such a horrible person.
Yeah, she's just a beast. She really is. And she's just feral, she just does whatever.
That's such a good description. Feral. She's a feral human being.
Taylorship business is really feral, but
yeah.
in like the true sense of the word. Not exactly, but close. But Sarah Boone,
I think about as close as you can come to
close as you can come to being a human being who actually wasn't raised by wild animals.
Yeah.
Right.
How did I end up in accounting? I like numbers.
Pro se clients' parents made them be an accountant.
I like accounting. I like numbers because it's no debate. It's not subjective. It's objective. I'm like, no, look, this is still the answer. I don't care what you think about it. I don't care what you think happened here. This is the number.
On it so that she can hear petitioner's response. 6. Respondent believes petitioner is willfully preventing the minor child from seeing his mother. Foremost out of spite, but also because petitioner must enter employer's name, address, and phone number. This entry will
So this has to do with that narcissistic collapse, right? She's trying to construct something that explains what is happening on here. It can't be the fact that she's sending horrible messages to her son. It can't be the fact that her ex isn't forcing their son to meet with her. It has to be he's trying to hide his employment and he's doing it out of spite and poisoning her son against her. Anything to avoid the truth.
Yeah, she never looks inward, ever.
Never.
It's just she's setting up a web of paranoia. Just the whole world created of
paranoia.
Yes,
she doesn't trust anyone. It's people who reach out and want to help her. She's immediately suspicious. It's so bizarre, actually. But it's because she's not to be trusted, I guess.
Although it's not paranoia if everyone genuinely hates you.
Right, but you know what? Not everyone does genuinely hate her, which is amazing. I mean, Lana was trying to be a good, decent friend to her, but no.
eventually show that petitioner is currently holding employment and has been in the 5 months prior since respondent began requesting the visitation forms to be sent. Or requested relief. Wherefore, respondent respectfully requests that this honorable court A. compel petitioner to answer all previously served interrogatories truthfully within 14 days due to unnecessary delays caused by petitioner not submitting accordingly or truthfully respondent's initial request nor adhering to the court's ordered time frame.
There, that's the one she gets messed up. Look at that sentence. That sentence doesn't make any sense. Due to unnecessary delays caused by petitioner not submitting accordingly or truthfully respondent's initial request. The object of that sentence is the respondent's initial request, right? And the person acting is a petitioner, right?
correct.
Right. This is a broken sentence.
It is.
Okay.
I'm shocked.
I know Dexter read, or not Dexter. See, now you guys got me all confused.
Bring Dexter in there. I want to see him read this.
All right. Well, 1 second here. We'll just, this is Dexter. He's very shy. Like, you see him there?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
He likes to jump up. He's like, hey, I want to play. It's slowed down here a sec. I think. It's like, pay attention to me.
Cute. Yeah, I mean, why are you ever paying attention to anything else? Is what I want to know.
He'll do it a couple times, and then you pet him, and then he will run away. That's the other thing. He pet him, and he flips over. He'll do barrel rolls and everything, and then yeah.
There he is.
He's very skittish, though. He's very shy. If anyone comes, if anyone comes to the door, he is under the bed. He is hidden away.
I'm texting you a painting I did of a tuxedo cap.
He's got his little arm patches on the wrong side of his arms. The elbow patches are supposed to be on the outside.
Yeah,
he's got them on the inside. What an idiot!
Idiot! I always think of that with your
coat. Your pattern looks so stupid. What an idiot!
God, you must be so embarrassed.
Anyway, wait, where is this one? Yeah.
B. Compel petitioner to file an amended financial affidavit that reflects all sources of income, including support from family or third parties. C. Impose sanctions or issue a warning for failure to comply with discovery obligations, including potential adverse inferences under Florida Family Law Rule 12.380. D. Award any other relief the court deems just and proper under the circumstances. Respectfully submitted this 19th day of May, 2025. Sarah K. Boone.
Your painting you sent over, that looks like Cosby, the Norwegian.
Okay.
The Ouija.
Oh, really? I pictured him as a blonde for some reason.
No, he looks exactly like Dexter. He's tuxedo Norwegian.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Now he gets knots in his hair, and I constantly am shaving them out, but he doesn't like it at all that I do that.
Yeah.
Even though he obviously enjoys the benefits of not having knots.
Yeah, they don't put it together though. It's like cats and dogs are never like, you know what? Last time I ate this, it gave me the shits.
Yep.
You know, they don't have that. They're not like, oh, I hate this, but when he does it, I'm better after. I feel better afterwards. They don't have that.
Yeah. He's 17 though. He's getting up there.
Yeah,
oh boy. That's awesome.
But he's going just as strong. I mean, could probably outlive us all. So I don't know. Do we have any final thoughts on Sarah here, or?
I mean, I definitely could go over this again at some point because it's interesting. It's not. I can't. None of her things can I take in all at once because she's so stupid dense and crazy dense. You know, like her wording, everything she does. That's why we're still confounded by her, I think.
Yeah, that's why I'm very eager to go to the court case because I think when that final notification is, or the final judgment is given, and she realizes, it's over.
No,
I think she's going to have a total meltdown.
Well, when she is not getting her money, she might. But I mean, she was sentenced to life without parole, and she didn't really have a meltdown. She's not.
No, but her statement before getting sentenced, that was amazing. Imagine what she's gonna do when she finds out. Like, if she has a moment to talk afterwards, it's gonna be great.
She's certainly gonna try to get one, and I mean, I'm there for that. Even if, first of all, I'm glad that I know someone will be there, even if I can't. But I'd like to be, and I definitely hope. I would imagine, I'm definitely going to try to make it there. My friend and I, Bestie, were already texting about it. But I'm sure the press will try to get some, and she'll complain about that afterwards. But she'll have no one to complain about it to.
Well, I plan on going, making all the notes, and then recreating because there's not going to be if it can't be videotaped. I assume it's not going to be videotaped. I plan on just reenacting the entire trial.
I'm going to paint it. I'll paint it
myself, playing all characters. So everyone will be able to know what happened. Yes, Tanika and I have been in contact. She's coming down. She's coming from closer. I'm not going to say where she's coming from. I don't know if it's well known, but she's more of a commuter flight versus I'm coming from Seattle. So I'm going to be coming in probably Saturday or Sunday morning. And then, Suma, if you're there, we can all meet up, hang out Sunday night. If I don't know if Danica said she was going home Monday or staying over, I will probably definitely stay until Tuesday because East Coast flights back to West Coast are limited. So
is she bringing Sugar Bear, asking for a friend?
I think she was talking about getting a sitter. So it's just easier, right? Rather than traveling.
I would get a sitter, but I don't.
It sounded like a very quick turnaround for her. Like she's either going to do the day of or night before and then go back. So
the same not neighborhood, but city close.
So yeah, we will in this stream. Everyone's going to be redirected to the Lorne stream. Suma, you have the link. Derek, you have the link. We're going to be listening to the Yancey fallout from the turtle.
When's this?
What?
When?
Right now. It's happening right now. You just have to click over to the other studio. So everyone here will hear the outro and the chat will be carried over. But if you choose not to join us, thank you for coming here. And we will all see you next time. I'll say thank you for being here, Suma and Derek, on this stream, even though I'm going to see you in a couple seconds.
How do I get to the other stream though?
Just
in the email.
Yeah, exit out of this one.
Email,
Just
okay.
Yep.
Right. See you soon. Bye.
Don't push it. Nope. You don't have to push it. Resist the urge. You don't have to do it. You don't have to push it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, you're pulling. Okay. Nope. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, kitty.